Hi, this is Lee Solden. Hey, give people help on picking up a British English accent or just hearing it better. Um, anyway, haven't got anywhere on this yet. I need to start listening to it, write ear tuning syllables. But what you can do right now is click on the link to the video that we'll be working with and start listening to it passively. That's the first step in getting someone's accent. So this is going to be a British English accent, and you just need to start playing it and ignoring it, called passive listening. For instance, whatever your favorite music is in any language, or your favorite TV program or Netflix program, have that playing, and then softly in the background you have the English playing. Okay, that'll be step one, and I suggest people get in the habit of listening to that regularly, like 3 hours a day, and which takes you zero time because you're supposed to do it as you're going about your day otherwise. Okay. Step two, I'll have some ear tuning syllables produced for this pretty quickly, within a few days, probably a week, who knows. But by the time you need them, like a week from now, they'll probably be up on the site. Start doing ear tuning exercises, but you don't stop the passive listening. Ear tuning exercises will simply be following the representation I use, which is using English letters for what is being spoken. Okay, so syllable by syllable. And when you do the ear tuning exercises, you just simply concentrate on exactly what sound the speaker's making, a syllable by syllable basis, and matching that with my ear tuning the syllables. And you might not be able to do that depending on what language you're starting with, but you keep trying. And a few hours of trying, and then you can follow them. And it's not because of training. It's not because you get better at it. It's because you're giving your speech center the right input it needs to figure things out for you. You have this language supercomputer up in your head called the speech center, looking for the right inputs. Well, the right inputs are trying to follow those syllables. People of poor of sight, I'll be following that up. When I do produce the ear tuning syllables, I'll also be reading them out loud in a separate video where you can loop it and get used to what those ear tuning syllables sound like before you go attempt to follow them with your ear. Now, a person with sight, half the time you're following the syllables with your eyes, half the time you're closing your eyes and just listening carefully. The worse you off are with vision, the more you want to go toward just the listening part. Okay. So third part of my program, which I'm not going to fully support, and for this particular accent, I'll help. The third part is called read-throughs. Now, as you start read-throughs, doesn't mean you stop your passive listening, and you're not going to stop your ear tuning. You can start doing less, but you'll never completely stop it. I mean, I want you to go in like an hour a day ear tuning exercises for the first week, maybe, then a half hour a week, half an hour a day for another week, 15 minutes a day for another week, maybe down to 10 minutes a day, 4 times per week, total of 40 minutes a week. Okay, so you're still doing your passive listening. You're still doing your ear tuning exercises. I'm going to describe ear tuning exercises briefly. You simply play the stretch from the video. It's going to be like a 30-second stretch 10 times, and those 10 times you're trying to follow the syllables with your eyes. Okay, now obviously if you can't see, just listen 10 times. You're going to always just listen. Okay, now step 2 is listen to the same exact 30 seconds of speech with your eyes closed, listening carefully, trying to follow those syllables by ear. Then you go back to step 1, 10 more times, reading while listening. When I say reading, have your eyes follow the ear tuning syllables while you're listening 10 more times. Then step 2 again. 10 more times just listening. Back to step 1, 10 more times listening while reading the ear-tuning syllables, and then back to step 2. 10 more times, close your eyes, just listen. Okay, 60 times listening to the same 30 seconds. Okay, that's what you do first thing in the morning. During the day, you do all that 3 hours of passive listening. Before you go to bed, repeat the ear-tuning exercises. Okay. Third part of my program, read-throughs, which again, don't plan on fully supporting here for this particular video, but I'll help. Okay. This is where you look at the first sentence in the story, get to know what it means one way or another. Maybe you have to look up the words yourself. Maybe I got some hints for you. Maybe somebody else comments on this video and tells you what that first sentence means and why. Let me know what language you speak, what language you need it written in to tell you what that first sentence means. Maybe I'll do some of that for you. Let me know. So you know what the sentence means. It's not studying. You just know what it means for a moment. You just looked at your notes. For the next 10 seconds, at least, you know what the sentence means. Then you listen to it 3 times while reading it. Then you close your eyes and listen carefully see if you understand it. Now, doesn't matter if you actually understand it at that point. Just matters that you did this exercise, because your speech center, this language supercomputer, heard everything, saw everything. It got the definitions of what was there, and then it heard it. Speech center is a magnificent machine. It's a supercomputer. It will, overnight, as you sleep, put more English in your brain, in your permanent memory. So you wake up knowing more English, and you keep this process up. The read-throughs will not only mean that you're absorbing the English language, you're also going to be absorbing how it's spoken. You're going to, eventually you hear enough of this, you understand, you're going to start speaking it correctly with that accent. If you go this route, you're going to be talking in a British accent when you do decide to start speaking English. Well, that's about it altogether, as far as the steps go. Now I'm going to go back and parallel it to how a child learns a language. It's all exactly the same way. If a person's born in England in an English-speaking household, they're going to be surrounded by English, right? I'm telling you, surround yourself with English by having that passive listening going on. Okay, you're paralleling what the child's seeing. Number 2, repeated phrases. There's only like 500 words spoken in a household that covers almost all words spoken, at least 95% or more. And a lot of constantly repeated phrases. Daddy's home, daddy's home, daddy's home. Here's your bottle, here's your bottle, here's your bottle. Ooh, it stinks. Oh, okay. Constantly repeated phrases. What are my ear-tuning syllables? You're going to listen to the same set 60 times in the morning, 60 times at night, 30 seconds of speech, right? There you go. What does any kid get? Constantly repeated phrases. What are you going to get? Constantly repeated small stretch of speech. Okay? What does that what does that cause? It causes the child to tune in to its language. Okay? So the child born in England first cannot understand any English being spoken. There's a bunch of noise coming out of the parent's mouth. Speech center, that language supercomputer, with the right data, the constantly repeated words, the being surrounded by the language on top of that, in short order, figures it out, and now the child has a really good ear for the language. What's next? Well, now as words are spoken that the speech center now hears clearly, it looks around, what was the mother smiling? Was the mother frowning? Was the mother making a gesture? What was the child doing? What was the child's brother doing? What time of the day it was? what smells were in the room. Was it dark? Was it light? All senses, everything, and the speech center figures out what the meaning of a word is. And then initially that's how it goes. But let's say the child knows 50 words. How does that child learn the 51st word? Well, the 51st word may have been spoken within the context of the 50 known words. Now, more and more, the child is picking up words based on the content of the context. Where was the word within other words, okay? You, having already knowing the language, are going to associate your known words in your known language to the new words in the target language, which is English in this case. So, but again, not only, okay, back to the passive listening, as you start absorbing this language, yeah, you're getting this direct, someone's talking to you, and your speech center is trying to figure that out. But at the same time, those words are going on all around the house all day, and the speech center is listening to it all. It's working 20 times faster than your conscious mind. So you start doing the passive listening, you never stop. It supports both the next two steps. The second step, the ear tuning exercises, and the overall ear tuning from that, and the passive listening. So ear tuning is a combination of two things, but you got to do both: ear tuning exercises and the passive listening, right? If all you do is the passive listening, your ear won't. Maybe someday, years from now, we'll tune in. You do the passive listening and the ear tuning exercises, we're talking a couple of days. So you do that way, a couple of days, right? What if you only do the ear tuning exercises? That'll work. Take longer. It's a lot quicker if you have the surrounded by the passive listening, much quicker. And getting in the habit of passive listening anyway lets you soak the language up really fast. And remember, you never stop doing the ear tuning exercises, right? So you have to have that language looping in the background anyway to keep promoting a better and better ear. Okay, and I hope you kind of see how this all I do really. Do I teach languages? Yeah, but I really more or less teach you how to teach yourself a language. I help support that as best I can. A lot of people sit down with me an hour a day, and I'm going over the words, what the words mean in an audiobook. I'm not trying to teach them anything. I'm trying to set up their read-throughs. It's your read-throughs that you can actually hear the language, because you've been doing your passive listening, you've been doing your ear tuning exercises. Those read-throughs are where you learn the language. Those read-throughs are where, when you hear the language, you're going to know it, or cause that to happen, right? Trying to work with me, that's it, an hour a day, and then try to study what I gave you. This is not what I want you to do. No, I don't want you to do any studying at any time. If I'm working with you on an audiobook, you're writing your notes down, okay? How do you study? Never. No. You just do the read-throughs. Now, the read-throughs mean you do look briefly at the notes. You could call it studying, light studying maybe, but it's hardly even that, because you're not trying to memorize anything. You keep a completely relaxed mind. Don't worry about it. Just remember, you're not part of this. You're just the input guy into your supercomputer, right? So you're looking over your notes, not to try to learn the language, but to feed the information to your speech center. You're looking over the notes. Okay, I kind of know what the sentence means. Good enough. Listen 3 times. Trust that speech center while reading the first 3 times. Close your eyes. Listen 3 times. Did you understand what you heard? Maybe, maybe not. Didn't matter. You're just giving data to your speech center. Move on to the next sentence. Keep moving on to the next sentence. Every morning you wake up, you know more English, because your speech center puts it into your permanent memory more and more every night from all this input you're giving it. Well, I hope I've been helpful. If you think so, like, subscribe, explore my channel. I keep adding stuff. Comment. Let me know what language you speak, what language you want to learn, what language you want to learn it in. Like I'm going to teach people German. You want to learn it in Spanish, or maybe you want to learn it in Arabic. I don't know. What do you want to learn it in? I'm a lot more prepared to teach it in Spanish than Arabic, but I can try, right? That's it. Everybody have a great day. Bye bye.